Wichita Queensna in hot, coats and stomo, oichuk chasiam in hot, tisha Úxwumixw, oichuk in muntmunt, in sese, in hot squallow and coats and stomo, yo in hot. Wichita is my ancestral name. Dennis Joseph is my given name. From the Squamish Nation. In the language, I gave thanks to Creator. And just as you arrived, I was singing to all of our ancestors who will be here before us, giving thanks to Mother Earth and all that she provides. Welcome to our classroom, to each and every one of you, your hearts, your spirits, your strength for your safe arrival here. I'm glad I made it.
Where we're going to walk here, this you can see there's a bit of an island in here, right? The dark green. Mm-hmm. That's the old forest. It's what Andy McKinnon in the book describes as an ancient forest. That's just on the steep slopes of Mount Elphinstone.
We went up and had a look, and it was amazing. I think we found 10 or 12 dens and old cedar trees and hemlock trees and a whole cluster of them, and you find black bear hair and scratching that the bears had used. It was pretty exciting for me because I've done years of work up on the Central Coast and not seen such an accumulation of existing black bear dens. I concluded that because so much of the surrounding old forest had been logged, the bears were concentrating their denning areas in the Dakota. This area should never be logged. BC Timber Sales should be concentrating their logging efforts in their real second growth plantation forests, which are all over the place, and leave these legacy forests where they are for future generations of people, of bears, of all the other animals that have nowhere else to go and nowhere else to hibernate once we log all of them.
I'm going to get a little bit closer to him. You know what? You're beautiful. Okay. This is called a diameter tape, so it stretches the centimeters out to use the circumference to compute diameter, but yeah, 152. That's pretty big. It's a forest that hasn't been disturbed for a while because you've got this sort of variety of size and age structures. Trees in the canopy are being replaced by trees in the understory, at least over the thousands of years. So it's 2 meters and 27 centimeters through the
About 8 foot in diameter.
90, 210. It's over 200 years old. It's about 210 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look how small
They-
it is
they grow
compared to the
slowly.
giants.
We live in this really unique moment in time where clearly we are looking at the last ancient trees, and we are looking at the last moment when we could turn things around. We know that indigenous peoples have lived with these forests for thousands of years and looked after them without destroying them. So we really have to appeal to the BC government to do the right thing and work with indigenous governments to come up with a different path.
Here's Gibson's, Roberts Creek. Anything close to the coast was logged over 100 years ago, basically, as the people came in. Then all the white areas are industrial logging, the proposed cut block. That's about 64 hectares. It can't be replaced. What's there. Because of the high snow and long winters and wet summers, fires virtually never occur there. An ancient yellow cedar that's over 1,000 years old, when it eventually dies, now it has to decompose slowly. This mound, let's say the original tree that grew here, could be 3,000 years ago.
We're on the watershed side of Howe Sound, and I know just from work I have done with our elders, our people have been here for a very, very long time. The Canadian government, respectively, they call them reserves. And for the longest time, our Our visitors sometimes didn't even know we existed, but we're still here. And we're still willing to work together with one heart, one mind to look after what we have.
The majority of the bark harvesting took place in the 1500s, which is pretty fascinating, but not surprising, right? Because cedar was such an important material for a whole range of uses.
There were basically CMTs everywhere. When these trees were stripped by indigenous people, that left the tree exposed to disease. The heart rot had eaten out part of the tree. There were even a few that looked like eventually they would become blackbeard dens.
In a very short while, we're going to do a ceremony not far from here where we're going to send our ancestors with the Creator's blessing, some food, some clothing, and the modern markers that are there, they go back at least 5 generations. And as always, there's always teachings and messages that come across from those old people. Most of all, it's to take care of one another. Lots of work together with one heart and one mind. Sometimes it's very direct to a specific person, to walk softly, to walk a little closer to this Mother Earth. My uncle used to say, just don't get up and say things. Leave a part of yourself here. Leave part of yourself that'll mean something to somebody. You see, these trees are our pillars, and the sky is our ceiling, and this is our sacred home. That's why I say these words to you, to bear witness and take what's meaningful for you and take it home. Especially saving what's left here. It's very special to me to be able to come here today and share some of the stories. We're still here. We're still teaching. And it was with great joy I share with you these teachings and this knowledge. And leave it up to you to find more about wherever you land in your life, who people are as Indigenous people, because there's so much there. So much to work with together. Ocean.